In this module, you will learn how to use the main functionality of the BCH Dashboard. Access the Biosafety Clearinghouse at bch.cbd.int. Click on the Sign In button at the top right of the home page. Type your registered email and password and click on Sign into your account. On the horizontal navigation bar, click on the Submit to access your dashboard page. The dashboard is your personal workspace. Here you can view, submit, review, and edit records depending on your user role, as well as update your profile information. Click on the down arrow icon beside the Welcome heading to view your assigned role and country affiliation and to update your profile. The Record Overview section categorizes record into national record and reference record and shows the status of various records. However, what you can see on the dashboard page will depend on your role. Some features such as the submission of national record are only available to national focal points and national authorized users. General user will only see the section for registering reference record and contact information records. The last three columns indicate the status of the record for each record type. The number in each column indicate the number of records that are published, records that are draft, and records that are pending approval. Clicking on a number to see the summary list of all the records and their status for the selected record type. Taking the competent national authorities, for example. In this column, you can access and download offline format for each record type in the language of your preference. Offline formats are Word files that contain the same information as the online submission form. Their main goal is to help you gather information before submitting it online. Click on the down arrow to view the latest 10 records. Click on the plus icon to create a new record for this record type. For instance, clicking on the plus icon beside biosafety laws, regulations, guidelines, and agreements will open the introduction page of the submission form for this record type. Adding a new record is divided into 4 main steps. Step 1, Introduction. Step 2, Submission form. Step 3, Review. And Step 4, Publish. You can move back and forward between these steps by clicking on the double arrow icons. The introduction page contains a short summary about the record type and brief instructions on how to submit the information. The next step is to complete the field in the submission form. The submission form contains a series of questions that make up the various fields of information for a given record type. This form can sometimes be long and consists of several pages of information. Note fields marked with red asterisks are mandatory. You cannot submit a record for publication without filling all mandatory fields. Some fields have descriptive text to assist you with the completion of the form. An offline version of the common format can be downloaded here as Word file. This is important if you are missing certain information and need to ask someone else to provide this information. It's recommended to save your record periodically during the submission process. You can also save the record as a draft and continue your submission at a later date. Once your draft is saved, you will be able to share it by email or export it to PDF. Records saved as draft can be accessed on the dashboard page from the draft column. A record can be published in one or more languages. At least one of them need to be a UN language. To do so, click on the English drop-down menu. You can choose to add one or more additional United Nations language or other language as well. Selecting additional language will add additional entry fields to text question, allowing you to enter response in the language that you have selected. Clicking on the X icon will simply close the record, and you will be asked if you want to save the changes you made if you have not done so. Once you have filled out the submission form, click here to review it. If the mandatory fields were not completed, the review will highlight them. Make sure to complete them in order to proceed to publishing your record. After completing all mandatory fields, your document is valid for publication. Click on Publish to complete the process, then confirm the publication by clicking on the Publish button. Depending on your role and the type of record, the record will be either published instantly or sent to your BCH focal point or to the Secretariat of the Convention on Biological Diversity for validation prior to its publication. If you are a BCH focal point and you are publishing a national record, the record will be published instantly and it will be assigned a permanent unique identification code. Click on the list icon or the title for a given record type to view a summary of all its corresponding records. On the page that opens, you will be able to filter the displayed record to see only the requested, published, or draft record that are associated with all national users for your government. Additionally, you can use the keywords field to find a record. You can also create a new record under this category by clicking on Add New. You are also able to duplicate, edit, or delete records if you have the credential to do so. On the Request tab, you can access all requests that you have submitted for publishing approval, as well as the history of any previous request. National records need to be approved by the BCH National Focal Point for a given country, and reference records need to be approved by the Secretariat before it's made publicly available. Requests can be filtered by approval status or by record type. On the alert page, you can view all messages you have received in relation to publishing requests. Clicking on the bell icon on the top right of the screen will also display all your notifications. If you are a BCH National Focal Point, from the User Management tab, you can add, modify the function, or delete a national authorized user.